Deb and the Let's Move team seek to ensure that all children have the opportunity for the long, healthy lives they deserve. In her role as Senior Policy Advisor for Nutrition Policy, Deb advises the President on food and nutrition issues beyond Let's Move. So please welcome Deb Eschmeyer.
Does anybody remember somewhat of a pretty euphoric moment when the First Lady also broke ground on the South Lawn? Do you remember that, like, oh my gosh, this is really happening for our work, right? Do you, like, just take a moment to reflect on what it felt like when the First Lady of the United States was literally taking a shovel, turning up that soil, and making this mark on what we all believe and truly hold dear of making sure all of our kids have access to healthy food. And as a fruit and vegetable farmer and someone who is slightly passionate about ensuring that all kids have access to healthy food, I was kind of like that kind of happy that you only get when you go to a wedding or like hold a newborn child, right? Like that was the kind of happiness that overcame me. So I hope that everyone else can truly enjoy and appreciate all that we've had and accomplished because of that moment. But really, just think about the powerful symbol that garden and what it means and the values of the first family's dedication to healthy food. I mean, we're growing fruits and vegetables in the South Lawn. We have the first ever beehive. Do you guys know there's a beehive? Do you guys know? Oh, there's a beehive. You need to go visit the garden. Check it out. Yeah, so we're giving love to our pollinators, guys. We have the first ever compost, showcasing the importance of healthy soil. First ever pollinator garden. We're giving love to our birds and our bees and butterflies. Those are making literally 1 out of every 3 bites of our food is made possible by our pollinators. This is all very critically important. It's happening 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and we must ensure that stays no matter what. So I hope you're with me on that one. So the garden, Linda gets it. The garden has initiated a truly national conversation around the health and well-being of our nation. And that conversation evolved into Let's Move. And as Debbie mentioned, I've had the great privilege and honor of leading the First Lady's initiative over the last year. And I want to give a special thanks. I am going to embarrass them and ask them to stand up. But the Let's Move team is small and mighty. I don't know if you guys know this, but Kelly Maturko and Kirby Bumpus, will you please stand and give them a round of applause? As you know, at the launch of Let's Move, President Obama signed a presidential memorandum creating the first ever task force on child obesity. Telling you what a nerd I am about this, I had that memorandum printed out and on my bulletin board at home on my farm in Ohio, and I had the entire action plan printed out, constantly looking at it to see where we were on the 70 recommendations put forth around childhood obesity. And so this task force report of 70 recommendations was the backbone of Let's Move. This is what we've put all of our effort on over the last 6 years. And yet everyone knows that it's around creating a healthy start for our children, empowering parents and caregivers, providing healthy food in schools, improving access to healthy, affordable foods, and increasing physical activity. And the foundation of that approach has been that everyone has a role to play in reducing child obesity. And this is everyone from the private sector to local elected officials to nonprofits, parents, caregivers, faith-based communities, community-based organizations, you name it, you have a role to play in making a difference. This is why I take every single meeting, much to the chagrin of our amazing intern who has to help schedule all of those meetings, to make sure that we're able to do as much as we possibly can. And we've been very fortunate to have this First Lady who is incredibly dedicated and has used her platform to making the healthy choice the easy choice. And she has pulled all the possible cultural levers that you can to change attitudes and behaviors. I mean, who else does a Vine chat and responds to a question with her now iconic turnip for what video, right? I mean, kids were eating turnips because of a 6-second Vine. Who has not seen Turnip for What? Because if you haven't, we're going to show Bill. All right, we're going to show Bill the video afterwards. I won't make everyone see it now. But then who else does a push-up contest with Ellen? Who else can do a push-up contest with Ellen? But just the whole point of that is to show the importance of physical fitness. And it has changed entirely the way we see physical fitness and how important it is in our society. And it's been an entire dream to work for this administration, and I am continually inspired daily by their leadership and vision. And maybe it's because of the presidential election that's underway right now, but I have learned to deeply not underappreciate the authenticity and approachability of the president and the first lady, and how that has uniquely steered so much of our work and made a lot of it so accessible. And beyond all of the unprecedented policy progress, which I will take a brief moment to reflect on, their leadership and character has contributed to this culture shift and momentum in a very unparalleled way. And it's truly what public health campaigns and dreams are made of. And I just have been really blown away lately, again, because of the electoral rancor, to really appreciate that. And I want us to just think about what our work together has accomplished and what it means for a child born today. And I know many of you know this and feel it, but I just want you to think about that when maybe that child will be one of the 1.6 million kids attending healthier daycare centers where the fruits and vegetables have replaced the cookies and juice. When that child starts school, maybe she'll be one of the 30 million kids that are now eating healthier school lunches. Maybe she'll be one of the 2 million kids of the Let's Move salad bar, or nearly 9 million kids that are part of Let's Move Active Schools. And thinking about that, maybe that child will be one of the 80 million that are part of the Let's Move cities, towns, and counties, so that they can walk to school on new sidewalks, participate in a summer meal program, or join a local athletic league. And maybe that child will then go to a grocery store that now has cut 6.4 trillion calories from their products. And I know it seems like a lot of statistics, but that's incredible impact over just a few short 6 years. And Debbie had already mentioned this, but that results in child obesity rates finally stopping the rise, and we're seeing amongst our youngest children why we are here all today seeing that decrease. And everybody knows when we entered into this work, like this was a train going in the wrong direction at high speed. Stopping it is epic, right? Having it go down is like, this is mind-blowing, guys. This is incredible. It's why we're here. This is so much success, and we have so much momentum. And this is the time where we have to dig in, dig deeper, get smarter, put more investments together, which is why everyone is here in this room today. And before I go into talking more about the youngest children and Let's Move Childcare, I do just want to take a moment to point out some federal nutrition policy progress, because I'm really darn proud of it and I want people to take advantage of it. But I'm not sure folks are fully aware, but in fiscal year, and hold on with me here because I'm going to go over some numbers, but in fiscal year 2013-2015, USDA made over 900 infrastructure investments that better connect communities with locally grown healthy food choices. These investments, are folks familiar with this? This includes food hubs, cold storage for fruits and vegetables, scale-appropriate processing facilities, and local regional food distribution networks. Since 2009, the number of food hubs across the country has grown by nearly 100%. That's more than 300 operational around the country. So this is $4 million in annual sales. Just one little snapshot of change from the USDA. Another one being, just last year, USDA awarded $11.9 million in local food promotion program grants to 160 marketing and promotion projects to support local and regional supply chains. And so when you look down at this was implemented in the LFPP program in record time, because this is right after the creation of the program in the 2014 Farm Bill. So since 2014, a total of $24.6 million has been invested, which supports over 350 projects. Are any of you in this room supported by that project? No, Emily Jackson? That's what I thought. Hi, Emily. Good to see you. Sorry to call you out. I thought you were. The USDA has also expanded access to healthy foods in underserved communities by making EBT available at farmers markets. Not sure if you're aware, but over 6,000 farmers markets now accept EBT, and SNAP redemption at farmers markets nationwide rose from 4 million in 2009 to over 18 million in 2014. So we're providing more with access to healthy, safe, affordable food. And well, this is a stat that I'm incredibly proud of because of a lot of great work and actually leadership from Secretary Vilsack. In fiscal year 2013, the SNAP participation rate among all eligible persons was 85% compared to 72% in 2010, making sure we're reaching those that are most vulnerable. And this is one where not many people look into in the USDA data. Sorry, I'm just going into some data specifics here. Fewer people live in limited supermarket areas. In 2014, 20 million people, or 7% of the US population nationwide, lived in LSA areas, a decrease of over 16 million, or 45% from 2005, when 36 million people lived in an LSA area. So when we think about all of this great work and the impact that we can have on making sure all kids have access to healthy food, I have to mention school lunch, because that is where, of course, we have 30 million kids that are now eating healthier meals. And I know a lot of people in this room fought really, really hard for that, and I just want to thank each and every one of you for everything that you did in 2010 around the Healthy Hunger Free Kids Act, and everything that you're doing today around passing a strong child nutrition authorization. It's just a round of applause for everyone who's working on school lunch, because I'm greatly appreciative for everyone's effort. So now, especially that 97% of schools in America are meeting those standards, just saying. And we also launched the community eligibility provision under the Healthy Hunger Free Kids Act to help high poverty schools that are serving healthy free breakfast and lunch to all students. So to date, there's more than 17,000 schools in high poverty areas that are offering nutrition meals to over 8 million students at no cost through this provision. And so definitely think about other schools that we could be reaching to make sure that they can sign up for CEP. And a couple other things just to reflect on what's changed over the last 6 years. We eliminated the food pyramid and updated it with MyPlate. We're celebrating the 5th anniversary of MyPlate. I may have a lot of MyPlate posters in the office. We finalized the rule that trans fats are no longer generally recognized as safe, eliminating trans fats from the food supply and saving tens of thousands of lives. Big deal. We're finishing up the nutrition facts label. We're getting there to make it easier for consumers to understand what's healthy. And I haven't even gone into all the work that we've done with Partnership for Healthier America and the over 200 private sector commitments that have been made to support the healthy choice. I will pause specifically, though, on the Sesame Street connection, since Sesame Street, which I'm sure everyone is aware, but they have given their characters at no charge to the produce industry to help them compete with junk food. So Eat Brighter is now in over 30,000 grocery stores. And you'll see Elmo, promoting broccoli, yay. And FNV, if you haven't checked it out, please do check out FNV. FNV is the latest of the PHA marketing campaigns. It's creating one big iconic brand for fruits and vegetables. So, for example, and I don't know, has it happened yet, Kelly? Okay, so guys, we have Steph Curry. Does everybody know who Steph Curry is? Okay, I just want to make sure, because my mom would be like, who are you talking about? So our MVP of the NBA may or may not be releasing very shortly something very epically cool with us. Just be checking Steph Curry's Twitter account throughout the rest of the day. That's all I can say. I can't break it. But you guys, he endorsed Brita. How cool is that? I mean, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about having our influencers market what's right and good at water. Marketing what's safe and healthy to drink. We're talking about getting people to love fruits and vegetables, and that is very much what FMV is about. And so I don't have all the time that I wanted to walk through all the progress, so I am actually going to commit to all of you that by the time that I walk out and shut the lights off at work, I will make sure to release a comprehensive list of accomplishments and everything that we've done, so we can make sure to hold on to that progress, and we can't walk it back because we know it exists and we're going to fight for it to stay. So my goal is to have that to you by fall, just because we have a lot more work to do, so it's too early to release now, but I promise you we'll give that to you. So I will go back to focusing more on the topic for today and tomorrow. And as you know, Let's Move Childcare launched as a voluntary grassroots effort, really tapping into and supporting ECE providers' inherent desire to do what's right and to do what's best for the kids that they serve. So we took this opportunity to share the core obesity prevention best practices for the ECE setting and provided the free resources to help providers meet these best practices. So now, at least this is what we've hoped, that Let's Move Childcare has now really become a model on how federal, state, and local leaders work well together for scaled impact. ECE providers they're already largely on board with making these improvements to their policies and practices for all of our goal areas. But we all know that it's helpful to have additional levels of support that exceed what this national voluntary efforts take and what the grassroots efforts could reasonably provide. And we understand that sustainable improvements to the ECE environment was going to require integrating obesity prevention standards and support for implementation into multiple components of state and local ECE systems through child care licensing and administrative regulations, through quality rating and improvement systems, through pre-service and professional development systems, through technical assistance networks. So both of the plenaries after my remarks will be diving into this, and I believe several concurrent workshops are going to provide more specifics on how obesity prevention is being integrated into the state ECE systems and what different federal programs are doing to encourage and facilitate this integration. So I'm going to leave that to them, but know that I'm looking forward to the report out on this and what everybody's sharing along the way. But one piece of impact that I really want to share, because I remember the moment that I shared this to the First Lady and other people on staff, and like the jaws just dropped. And this was around the Learning Care Group commitment that led to the reduction of 5 semi-trucks of sugar from kids' meals based on the decrease in serving juice. And that they cut 2,800 pounds of fat, which is about the size of a small car, which, by the way, would make a great Super Bowl ad, just by switching from a breaded fried nugget to a grilled chicken nugget, right? The small changes that can make such an incredible difference. And that's what we're here to do today, to figure out like what are those things that we can continue to make that incremental progress that leads to these huge transformative results for our kids. And so I would love, I hope if there'd be a little bit of time, if folks could actually share more of those great examples, because I love the social math. And whatever we can do to get that out there, we are here for you to help share those great stories. We love to hear them. The First Lady loves to hear them. And we want to be by your side, creating and lifting this up, because we know we need to continue to push this forward for our kids. So I know everybody's asking what's next for Let's Move Childcare and everything that we're doing in general, but you should just know we're very excited to ramp up our work and supporting state and local ECE system change. It is an incredibly exciting time for this work, and there's so much interest and commitment to the provision of higher quality childcare for everyone in our nation. And we are now clearer on where we can be taking these efforts and their investments, our money, time, and energy. And yes, we haven't entirely figured it out, but we're doing it. We're figuring out what the case studies, and we're making those improvements along the way. And we know that early child care and education is the best bet, given the number of children that are served, the amount of time they spend in care, and the opportunities for improvement. We know that. And all of you have demonstrated that the providers can and will make changes. We're just here to make it easier and make it possible, and actually to provide the megaphone to that issue as well. So now we need to focus on ensuring that the state and local systems in which the providers operate adequately support those changes. And you all represent what is possible. You are the power in changing these systems to set the trajectory for our kids across the country. And you know what all we need to do, and we're all here to listen and work with each other from here. So I ask that you take full advantage of having traveled here, having taken the time to sit under these beautiful chandeliers, and to just fully engage and present and be like your best self and coming up with these ideas. I know a lot of times you're pulled in a lot of directions when you go into these convenings, but I have to say, like, you get out of it what you put into it, right? You bring that energy and you bring those ideas, and it is the urgency of the now. Like, I truly believe there's a saying around, like, all you need is not enough time and the right people, and that is what we're trying to do here, and making it and creating a good solution. So I encourage everyone to share your data, share your communications failures and your successes and the ways that we can do this better, and just think outside the box of how we can better engage. I mean, how many of you would have thought about doing a 6-second Vine of Turn Up for What, right? How many of you have heard of Dub Smash? I didn't until last week. All right, you in the back. You should teach everyone about Dub Smash, because that's the way that we're communicating to a lot of young parents, young moms. And I am terrible at explaining it, so you should probably have Kirby Bumpus or the lovely woman in the back explain what Dub Smash is. But it's using these different kinds of tools to be able to reach our folks. But I really encourage everyone to take advantage of the time that they're spending here to craft great ideas and great policy and great practice. But I also want to say that the president is constantly reminding us that this is the fourth quarter and that we must do all that we can. And I am promising you that while we are at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, we are going to do as much as we possibly can, especially on this issue, especially for our kids. And I couldn't be more encouraged and more hopeful for where we're going on this issue. And most of that is because of everything that you guys are doing in your home communities and everything that you're making possible and the energy that we have. Because the thing is about all of this is that we have a First Lady who is passionate about this issue. So when she becomes former First Lady, she's going to continue to work on this issue. This is not something she's leaving behind. So it's really, truly only the beginning. And so this is when we really have to come together and really drive this work forward and come up with those other great ideas that we're going to continue to invest in going forward. So friends, every day, every moment is a privilege and an honor to serve in this administration, but most truly, it's also because I'm serving all of you. I see a lot of friendly faces in the crowd, people who I've learned from for many, many moons, and I'm grateful for all that you do, and we're going to continue to work on this issue well beyond January 2017. So thank you for everything and why you're here today, and just know we got your back.